I am here to review Wargroove, the spiritual successor to Advance Wars. Now, for those of you that don't know Wargroove Advance Wars, what kind of style game it is, it's basically a turn-based strategy game where instead of actually having characters that you always keep that are leveling up constantly, you kind of play every different level with a fresh start, but with more units that you unlock as time goes on, right? So basically you'll start with like the little swordsman, and then you'll have a magician, and then you'll have cannons you can shoot. So you're basically, every round you play, you're kind of unlocking more unit types instead of leveling them up, and it all becomes about the level, the terrain, what you're working with, what the enemy has. So every round just feels like a fresh start almost, but you always get more units as time goes on. But yeah, I really loved Wargroove, and I mean, I'm not done with it, but I've played most of the game. I'm at chapter 6 out of 7. I've played some of the online features, so I know my full thoughts on the game really, and I just think this game is awesome. I think as a successor to Advance Wars, which people have been begging for years because Nintendo hasn't made one since the DS, it absolutely nails it, and I'll tell you why, right? Because basically, first of all, it's got fantastic pixel art. I'll throw some gameplay on screen. It's got really smart gameplay mechanics, right? It doesn't just feel like it's ripping off Advance Wars. It feels like it's taking Advance Wars and kind of putting its spin on it, right? So you'll have like levels where the map is fogged out and you have to use a dog unit to go on top of a hill to see more parts of the map, right? Or you'll have these flying units, right, that can only attack other flying units or certain underground units, and there's like cannons you can shoot that attack only certain units. And I just really love the idea that certain units can only do the most damage to other ones. It's very smart in terms of showing you, just like any strategy game where it's like, okay, if I go attack this guy, how much damage am I gonna do? And then you can kind of react and see what happens. The main characters, like let's say you have your team captain, they have stuff like, they're called grooves, right? Which is why the game's called Wargroove. And it's basically like a special ability. So like, let's say one of the captains, her special ability is she'll buff her team that's around her, or the elderly guy will have a ability to have a shield around your troops, right? And all the troops also have a way to do critical damage. So like, let's say you have two units next to each other that are spearmen, they'll do more damage if they're next to each other, right? Or one unit will do more damage if they're next to their captain. So I love how each unit kind of has like a special way to make them unique and make you want to invest in being like, okay, I'd rather get two of these units here, these three units on this side, blah blah blah. So there's a lot of strategy with that stuff. And also, really, a thing I also really loved and appreciated was the fact that the game has a genius kind of level difficulty scaling. So the game's really hard, and I gotta say that, right? On regular difficulty, the game's hard, but the game has 3 difficulty sliders that you can adjust whenever you want to make the game easier. So for example, you can adjust how much damage the enemies do to you. So like, you can make, instead of what the default, you can make it like 50% or literally like 48% or 47. You can choose how much money you make throughout a match, right? So like, let's say you want more money so you can get the best units right away. You can set it so that you get a lot of money right away. You can also make it so that you change how fast your character gets his groove, the special ability. So with those 3 level difficulty scalable things, you can really customize your game, because I had actually a lot of difficulty with it, which I think is a bit of a flaw. Like, I do think it was a little ridiculously hard, that when I was in level 2 or 3, that the game was getting obscenely hard. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna tone the difficulty down. You can't earn 3 stars in a level. If you do, which is another cool thing, that you can actually earn stars. It's got that very mobile kind of game feeling to it. But yeah, so I just really love that you can scale the difficulty. I love the unit types. I love the cool environments they got. The story is actually really cute. Like, it's nothing crazy, but it's got enough lovable characters that you meet throughout. You even do like side missions where these like thieves are like scared of the dog unit you have, and you end up having missions where you have a lot of variety of missions, right? So there's like survival missions where enemy waves are coming at you in the middle, right? And if they kill your civilians, you lose. Or there's guiding missions, right, where you gotta guide your main character to the end of the mission. You've got missions, right, like I said, where the map is fogged, or there's missions where you gotta just kill the enemy leader. So they do a really good job of constantly changing the formula. The maps vary from small sizes to big sizes, so I just really appreciate the amount of variety I always felt I was seeing throughout the game. Another thing the game is really fucking awesome at is it's got online content, and I mean endless online content. Yeah, so people in this game can actually make their own levels. You can make your own maps, and you can literally make custom dialogue. So people can legitimately make their own campaigns, and I played some people's campaigns. It's unreal. Like, you can set a world map. Like, I think the developers made it so that the campaign they made, people can just make in the game. Like, literally, when I pick campaign, it shows me Wargroove campaign, and then like the 4 or 5 other campaigns I downloaded from other people. So it is insane, and I checked out some of the tools, the way it works. It's like, it is really genius, and it's not honestly that hard, right? Because all you really have to do is set terrain, set where you want all the enemy units to go, and voila. So it's like, I just love that this game can have an endless stream of content if you really want it. So yeah, these are my thoughts on the game. I actually, like I said, I really loved it. I think my 2 flaws with it were that some rounds actually can drag on a little too long. Like, sometimes I felt like I was on turn 30 and I was just like, when will this end? I've been doing this for over an hour. Music's kind of generic, and like I said, the difficulty can be a little hard, but you can scale it. Other than that, I really love it. I love the units, I love the pixel, I love the cute story, the amount of content, all this stuff. It's just such a great thing to finally have an advanced or spiritual successor, and I'm so glad it's succeeding. I give this game 8.5 out of 10. Let's go, let's get hyped. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.